their energy was good off of that. And they saw the ball go in a lot early, and I think they were shooting 66%, pretty early in the game. And unfortunately, we came out on our heels. And typically in games like this, when you do that, it's hard to kind of change that energy. But 2 for 17 the first half from three, and then it felt like we missed about 6 or 7 wide open layups. You go down 20 in the tunnel. And, I thought we came out. I was proud of our effort in the second half. I thought we scored more than twice the points that we scored in the first half, but it was just too late. The margin, the lack of defensive intensity, the lack of what we needed to do to defend them better. This team's been really good at guarding the three. And you look at this game in the Greensburg game. They hit 13 threes tonight. We hit 6 really. Chuck hit those 2 late when the game was over. We really hit about 6 threes in the meat of the game. Well, that's a 7-3 difference, and that's 21 points. You lose by 19, and it was very similar in Greensboro. They hit a lot of threes. We couldn't buy one. You're not beating people doing that. So you got to have the confidence to step in there and make shots. You got to have the mentality to deal with, what they're trying to do and the physicality they're trying to play with, and you got to be able to answer that. You got to be able to deal with that. And by the time we started to do that, the game and the margin was a little bit too far away from us. But credit our guys. They stayed in the fight, and they kept battling. We gave up 20 offensive rebounds, which is ridiculous, but we did get 18. And so, I think that there's some things that these last couple of games we got a little adversity. We're not playing as well. That's clear. Usually seasons are basically a lot of times they come down to how you deal with this adversity, and this is something we got to respond to. We got to figure it out. So, if teams can just go in there and tell their teams to just push us around, and just put their hands on us and just start yelling and talking and yelling out KYP and all that. Like if that stuff is going to rattle us, then you're going to get the outcome that we got tonight, right? You got to be able to just go play your game. And for a lot of the year, we've done that. And tonight we didn't. We got out of character. We let some of the noise just get to us. And look, that's something that, hey, we're going to see more of that. You know what I mean? And that's what in past years we've been able to handle a lot of that. And I trust this group. This is we haven't had a ton of adversity yet this year, and this is our adversity. And a lot of times it makes you better if you let it. And so we got to look at this honestly. We got to see that we got pushed around. We got physically bullied tonight, and I thought mentally, obviously, we didn't play with the mindset that we got to play with, and we got to improve there.
Coach, it was fairly obvious that you played with a lot more fire in the second half, but ultimately Wofford missed 14 shots in the second half, got 9 offensive rebounds, and it really doesn't matter how much fire you play with. If that happens, it's almost impossible to come back. Can you speak to that?
Well, that's what we were talking about each time out. Like, it was clear we came out with more fire, at least not looking timid and scared on finishing plays around the basket. Like we made a couple layups. Garrett finished that layup, and then Cooper got that dunk, and Ben drove one, and it was clear, like, okay, offensively we're starting to kind of figure some things out, and they just go down there and, either they scored, or if they didn't score it, they got the rebound. And, you can't make runs unless you can string stops together. And unfortunately, Scott, like we couldn't. We just once that team gets to feeling good, they're really good, and they felt great all night, and we did nothing to change that. And we allowed them to feel good, and they kept. I mean, there just weren't many misses. I mean, it felt like you said. I mean, when they did miss it, they got more than half the misses, and they shoot 40% from 3 on high ball, and like. You hit 13 threes on 32 attempts, you're going to win most of those games. And, and then they get all those offensive rebounds. I thought we did a poor job there.
Once you get into conference play, each team knows you pretty well. What have you seen that our offense the ball seems to be sticking a little bit on film? Is there something that maybe the teams have seen that they've been able to kind of enhance that ball slowing down, or is it more the team's just not as crisp offensively?
I mean, I don't know if missing 6 layups at the start in the first half. I mean, like we had some point blank layups. I mean, Chuck was wide open, PJ wide open, Coop wide open, like Davis wide open, or people doing things different. I mean, like they played off of Ben, they played off of Garrett some, you know, like, I mean, this stuff that we haven't seen, you know, it's not like, this stuff isn't rocket science, you know, like, you have to be able to get in the game and figure out, they didn't change their D in the second half, we scored 42, right? We scored 42 points in the second half. Like, it's mentality, and, you know, their plan was to come out and be physical with us and to push us around a little bit, and, you know, get in our bodies, and it was the same thing Greensboro wanted to do. So, you know, at the end of the day, what I want to go look at is look at the shots. And some of the shots we took rush. There's no doubt. Like their physicality bothered us. We got out of character. We weren't really patient. You know, we didn't get as many cuts as we needed to get. And you know, but then you get a back cut and PJ just misses the layup, right? But then in the second half, I thought the ball moved much better. I thought really at the end of the day, the ball was driven much better. And like you got to do things to get the ball in the paint, but the paint touch count at halftime was 25-24. I mean, it was like they had 18 points in the paint, we had 8, right? So, and then we're 2 for 17 from 3, and then they had made, you know, I guess they made 5 threes in the first half. So that's 9 points there. So I mean, paint points plus 10, you know, 3-point line plus 9, like there you go, right? And so, had we made some layups instead of being 18-8. You know, it's got a chance to be 20-18 in the paint, and you're going into halftime, and there's a lot lower margin. So for me as a coach, I got to look at shot quality. I got to look and see what shots were open. You know, were we getting the shots that we wanted? And but man, like it's a mental game, and you know, part of what we have to do is we have to get good looks. Then you got to be mentally strong enough and confident enough to go run the belt.
Coach, in the wins this year, obviously it's been a team thing. Anybody can contribute, but were they concentrating on make it all tonight? Because when he hit that 3-pointer early in the second half, I looked down to see what he was now from 3. He was 1 for 1 from 3. He didn't take a 3-pointer in the first half. Did they do something specifically with him on their defense to kind of deny him a little bit tonight?
I mean, they just got physical with him, you know, and they committed to at times when they needed to, and they did a good job communicating their defense and knowing who was where and what they needed to do. They were locked in. I mean, like I said, they played really well. And, you know, look, I mean, they can shoot the ball. So it's just like when we guard good shooters, like you try not to let good shooters get good looks. It's kind of what we got to sit around and figure out. And, you know, tonight, you know, our goal, you know, for what we wanted to do was to try, you know, anytime you're guarding them, they move the ball well, right? Just like we do. There's a lot of similarities. And tonight, like, they were getting 2 on the ball more, and they were playing out of those advantages. And let's be honest, I mean, they were hitting some shots. And, you know, I thought that kind of got them juiced up, kind of got them going. And, you know, we just, by the time we kind of regrouped, man, it just, we couldn't get ourselves going. But every team's going to try to play physical with Nick. I mean, like, it's what you should do, you know? Like, you know, make him uncomfortable. And so, but they were able to clog the paint up with some guys, and you know, that's some stuff that we got to continue to solve. And you know, we got to make sure for what we're doing and what we're trying to do, it's our job to get him looks. You know, obviously PJ got 12 looks tonight total. Nick got 7 looks tonight total. So those 2 guys get 19 shots. You know, you'd like to see that a little bit higher. But at the end of the day, you know, I mean, their 2 best players got 10 shots and 12 shots. They got 22 shots. So, you know, they're two top players. Got a few more shots than our 2, but you know, at the end of the day, like they got 19. The problem is we got to hit a few more.
Coach, you only have 5 turnovers tonight, but it seemed like all those turnovers were live ball turnovers in crucial situations, which led to, I think, points the other way. You just talk about, I mean, that is a good thing, but then it's sort of bittersweet when you have live ball turnovers against a team like this. And on the flip side, I thought at times that you guys defended well in the press. Can you talk about those 2 things?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I thought we took care of the ball well tonight. You know, we had 5. We forced 10. You know, points off of turnovers. We only beat about 1 there. We had double the production in terms of turnover. We weren't able to convert as many as we need to. You know, I thought ball security was fine. You know, a lot of times you can dribble the gaps on those guys, you know, try to raid your ball, and look, I don't wanna oversimplify this, but, you know, we, at the end of the day, like, we took a lot of threes, 34. We made 8, and 2 of those came at the very end of the game, when the game's way out of balance. Okay, so, you know, if volume was down and we weren't getting the looks, I would be a little bit concerned, but, you know, at the end of the day, like, ball security was good. We got the shot numbers we wanted. I mean, we shot 69 shots tonight. You know, like, we got the ball up a lot. The problem is, we only made 23 total shots. And, you know, some of that, you gotta give them credit, but also some of it just because of the aggression they played with and them getting us on our heels, we just looked a little timid these last couple of games. And, you know, we've been playing with a lot of confidence, and we gotta go get back, and we gotta play our way through this. And so, I got full belief in our guys. You know, this game won't define our season. You know, how we handle this, how we respond to the adversity of this. You know, will we let this develop us? Will we let this define us? You know, are we gonna be a team that you can push around? And, or are we gonna be a team that, hey, we're gonna be tough, and if you're gonna be physical, we gotta screen you better, and we gotta be strong with the ball, and we gotta be confident. You know, when we step into balls, we gotta be confident, step in and make shots. And, you know, it's a part of the year where we're 14-3. We're not off to the best start in the league for what we would like to be. You know, we're 2-2. You know, it's going to put us behind, you know, a couple teams, obviously, that have a little bit better record earlier. But this will all be settled by how we finish. And, you know, it's one of those things where we got to keep learning about ourselves. We got to learn how we handle hard moments. And, you know, having to go all the way to, you know, basically January 4th before you lose your second game. You know, you played 2 months of the season, you hadn't had to deal with as much. And so, you know, I think in some ways this, not saying I enjoy this. I mean, I'm as mad about this performance as I've been in a while, but like, maybe this is good for us. You know, like, we're gonna have to stare this straight in the face, and, you know, we're gonna have to figure this out. We're gonna have to play tougher, we're gonna have to play stronger, mentally, physically, and we gotta go be ball players. And, you know, when we did that in the second half, I thought we looked a lot better, but unfortunately we didn't do it to start the game.
Coach, and to that point, you gotta do all those things, not in 3 days like normal, but not 48 hours. You gotta be out there against another always physical team in ETSU. How do you teach, and also how do you get ready for the next one? And, you know, lots of times after a game like this, you wanna get back out there as soon as possible, but there's stuff you gotta obviously get better at, so.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're stuck by the schedule. There's nothing, you know, first 3 on the road, and then first home game gets pushed back, and like, weather, like, we don't control any of it, you know, so we gotta take what we have, and, you know, we got class all day tomorrow, you know, we got game plan in, and, you know, but the one thing I'll tell you is, our mentality has to change. I mean, like, that's just the reality of it, you know, like, we can go walk through ETSU's actions, and we can go do all the scout report, we can do all that. Like, we gotta come to the arena ready to fight on Wednesday. And that's the reality of what this is. And so, you know, that's a decision. You know, like, I mean, we'll go through the schemes, staff does a great job with all that, putting game plans together, you know, but like, hey, who's gonna be the more aggressive team? Who's gonna come out here and play harder? Who's gonna exert more energy on defense, right? Like, that's what wins games. And we've got to understand, like, that we cannot compromise there. And if we miss a couple shots, so what? Like, keep playing harder. But tonight, we didn't compete out of the gate at the level that we need to in a game like that. And, look, it's gonna happen in the course of the year, and for most parts of the year, we have competed. And we have been the more physical team, and we have been the team that's been tougher in critical moments of games. But tonight we weren't, and now it's kind of, you know, bit us a little bit in these last couple, and, you know, I think it's gonna be great for us to kind of respond to.
Coach, I think, you know, despite it not being a good night overall, there was some good body language, you know, from guys like Davis and Omar down the stretch when they were encouraging guys. And that wasn't the case a lot last year. Can you just talk about, I mean, while it's a tough loss, can you talk about, as a coach, obviously you would have to like to see that.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to give our team credit for that. Like, I mean, we didn't quit, and I ain't been in a lot of halves like that. I mean, Chuck rattled that 3 in late. I mean, if not for that, we'd have been 1 for 16 from 3 with like 7 missed layups. And so, it felt like nothing was going well, right? Nothing was going in. And, you know, they didn't pack it, right? And I thought Charles Johnston played a very good game. I thought Davis Molnar did some really good things. And, I thought we kept trying to compete. You know, we didn't play well enough. I'm not saying that or implying that. We still gave up a ton of offensive rebounds. And, you know, didn't play with the necessary physicality down there. But, you know, our kids didn't quit. Our bench energy was into it. You know, we asked them to run around and press a little bit. We forced some turnovers. But at that point, like, you know, the margin was in their favor. And, we couldn't get any. We never got it into single digits because we couldn't get enough stops and rebounds. But we at least started playing with a little bit more confidence on offense. So, look, we got a good group of guys, and I got full belief in them. We'll figure this out. You know, we'll get through all this. It's not gonna be doomsday around here. These guys care. They want to win. They want to work. We're in a little rough patch, and is that we just can't make a shot right now, and it's gotten into our heads, and we're letting that affect our defense. Maybe so. You know, I mean, that's 3 games in a row now. We've shot the ball poorly on a team that's shot the ball pretty well all year. But like, we got to grow from that. You know, we can't let our ability to make shots then push us into bad defense on one end of the floor, and not having the physicality to clean boards up in the way we need to. So, you know, I trust this group. I love working with this group, and you know, they got great hearts. They got great intents. We did not play well tonight. We did not coach well tonight. We did not come out with the energy that this game requires, and we got to fix it.
Thank you, Coach.